Hey guys, I've watched all these videos that talks about understanding the opposite gender more, and it seems like all the advice in these videos are centered around themes on gender identity and communication. So, to make it easier for everyone, today we're going to be talking about the basis of all these advice and how you can use them to better understand men and women more. Now, it's obvious for everyone that men and women communicate differently, but as for the reasons for why they do so, might not be so obvious. And research has shown that there are three main reasons for this. First, men and women socialize differently. Second, different societies expect different things from men and women. Third, men communicate more through actions while women through expressions. Socialization in this context has something to do with how we learn from people who are in the same and opposite gender as us. Examples of socialization can be set in home, work, school, when we're hanging out with friends, through social media like online, or radio, television, etc. When we're exposed to such things or settings, whether we're aware of it or not, we're actively forming our overall idea of what our gender is and is not. And we would continue to do this until we get to a point when we feel we know how our gender is supposed to think, act, and feel. Now, this is very similar to what English philosopher John Locke and a bunch of other philosophers, when he referred to our identity as a blank slate or tabula rasa. Basically, what he says, we all start out as a blank slate, and that we fill this blank slate, and therefore our identities, with our experience. So, it's very important that we consider the kind of things and people we surround ourselves in, because it makes a huge impact on how we define ourselves and how we identify ourselves, especially when we're growing up. The idea of how our experience shapes us brings us to our second point. Different societies expect different things from men and women. Now, it's obvious that men and women born in different countries would think and act differently. But how much of a difference would that actually be? One very striking example is the people from the Satare Mawe tribe in the Amazons. From a very young age, boys are trained to become warriors to protect the tribe from predators and neighboring tribes. They even have rituals where the would-be and already warriors are to stick both of their hands into this glove for up to 10 minutes. And the glove contains ants that's been proven to have one of the most lethal sting in the world, all while the rest of the tribe sings and dances their asses off, supposedly to serve as a distraction from the agonizing pain the warriors are going through. The women, on the other hand, are expected to do all the household work while also being trained on making medicine for cases when someone gets stung by a scorpion or when someone gets mutilated by some wild animal. Now you might say, bien, I don't think this is a fair example. You're using people from places where there's almost zero technology and who are still performing primitive traditional practices. Okay, fair enough. Let's consider the people from first world countries, such as US. Since a lot of people are constantly exposed to different forms of media, from radios to music to movies and whatever else is online, one can expect that the majority of socialization process is coming from this source. This might seem to be an exaggerated claim, but let's look into the statistics. According to a 2010 Kaiser Family Foundation report by FOER, children aged 8 through 18 are spending an average of 7 hours and 38 minutes in social media every day. Projected several years later, this number grew to 9 hours per day. This research was focused on people from age 8 through 18 because this is the time when we seriously start to define our sexuality and gender identities. Now, so if one takes the time to carefully listen to the music broadcasted over the radio, read the latest news online, and catch up on the latest trend regarding their beloved celebrities, one can see varying reflections onto the youth's behavior and thinking. You might say that the old American tradition where everyone gathers around the dinner table and share their day's story is still happening, but the overwhelming majority of Americans are actually doing this right in front of the television. Sometimes the kids are still on their phone chatting with their friends. So If you want to know more about how about other people's thinking process and behavior, you should carefully look into the kind of society that they grew in and the kind of expectations that it has on the people. And lastly, point number 3 says, women communicate more through expressions while men through actions. One thing that a lot of people can agree on when it comes to men expressing their interest or emotions to women is that they do things for them. When a beautiful, attractive-looking woman is at a bar, men would usually offer to buy her a drink as a way of approaching her. When going out on a date, men would usually offer to buy the whole meal. And then during Valentine's Day, some men may prepare a romantic meal with strawberry champagne on ice. Then how well things proceed can be read from her body language. Is she making eye contact to you? Is her body facing you? Is she playing with her hair? Does she sometimes casually touch you? Does she ask questions? How close is she from you in terms of distance? These are some of the numerous ways that she expresses herself without really telling you what she's trying to express. So, if you want to understand the opposite sex more, see things in their own perspective. How will he or she think, act, or respond if I do this or that? So those are the 3 reasons why men and women communicate differently. Men and women socialize differently. Different societies expect different things from men and women. And lastly, women communicate more through expressions while men through actions. That's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed and learned something new from the video, be sure to hit that like button and share it with your awesome friends. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions for future topics, feel free to leave them on the comments below. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.